just an absolute disaster. Yo guys, welcome back to another Turbo Tyler video. Today we're doing a little mod to the Focus, more of just like a drivability mod, something to make it feel a lot cooler on track and on the street. And it's installing one of these Alcantara steering wheel covers. So these are one of the covers you can buy off eBay like I have. This was from the UK, cost about £30. And essentially you just put this over your steering wheel and then sew it together. So what you get in one of these kits is obviously the steering wheel cover like this, some instructions, and then if we come over here, you get needle, a little trim tool to put it in, some double-sided tape, thread, and then I've also just got a knife and some scissors to make it a little bit easier for myself. So yeah, I've never ever installed one of these steering wheel covers before, so it's time. I've had this lying around for like 3 months now, just waiting to put it on because I don't want to mess it up, but today's the day. So we'll jump into the interior now and get started. So first thing I want to do before we get started is just grab a bit of isopropyl alcohol and a clean cloth, and we're just going to clean this off because we need to use some double-sided tape to get this to stick. You might have noticed from the intro, I've also got the vehicle jacked up off the ground. That's just because throughout this install we're going to be moving the steering wheel quite a lot, and just moving it while the wheels are off the ground is going to be a whole lot easier. Next, I'm just going to put the cover on. Obviously mine's got the 12 o'clock position mark, so I'm going to try to line that up with sort of the center of the Ford badge. It's probably going to be a bit tricky to get these covers on because they are pretty tight normally. Something like that, and then just adjust it so that these sort of cutouts are sitting nice where they want to go. So now that I've got that on there with the double-sided tape just to sort of hold it in place, apparently what I need to do is now tuck the edges into that seal, into that gap there, but it's proving to be real difficult, so we'll just go ahead and just try and see how it goes, but it's proving to be quite tricky when I was trying to do it earlier. No, it's not too bad actually. Okay, I have to say, so far so good. If I can kind of do it the rest like that, that would be okay. But the real tricky part, I think, is going to have to be, I've got to do the same thing at the back. I think that's going to be so difficult. I don't know if we maybe turn it like that and maybe I'll get out and try it. I think we'll give that a try. Okay, so doing the back of the steering wheel, like I thought, was a lot more difficult than doing the front. But I ended up finding if I just had the torch and leaned my head over like this, I've managed to get it in the back pretty good. I think I still need to get it on the sides more, like it's kind of like buckled a little, but I think when I sew it together it's going to sort of tighten up and look okay. So now what I think I need to do is get the sides in next. See how jacking the wheels up makes that a lot easier. Yeah, I think I've got to get the sides in next, but the shape of the sides is very different. Move the torch a little bit. The shape of the sides doesn't even look like it's going to go, and it looks so big. I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky, but give it a try. Alright guys, so we've got the steering wheel in what I think is a pretty good position now. So I've got it taped around these edges here, where it meets, where the center of the steering wheel meets the actual wheel. And then I've also got it taped on like these points here just to try bring it all tight. And as you can see, I've tucked it in nicely around these edges. And I'm actually pretty happy with the way it's looking at the minute. So now it's time to start sewing. I've never sewed before, so I'm going to watch some videos and see how you do it. And I'm pretty confident this is going to turn out okay. The only things I'm worried about is like it's quite buckled in like places like this. I don't know what it's going to be like when it gets all pulled tight and how it's going to look and whatnot, but I think it's time to just go ahead and just start sewing.
Day 2.
Okay guys, so this is actually day 2 now of trying to do the Alcantara steering wheel cover, and you'll see right down here where we've had a bit of an issue and I've had to re-sew back in these stitches. So on the first attempt, I got my mum to show me how to sew and help me a little bit, and we kind of made a few mistakes down here. So it did get quite good towards the end, but we ended up cutting the threads that we did because we ran out of thread, even though I measured and had loads spare. Long story short, we ended up actually cutting some of these loops, so we had to sew those back in. But this is day 2 and attempt 2 now. On my own today, Robert can't be here to film, so we're just gonna time lapse this and just try sew it. All I'm doing is literally just weaving in and out. I'm not doing any patterns or anything, just literally, so I'm going across through and then just keep going in and out until we get all the way up here. This is where it started to get tricky, where I got to try sew this random little piece in with this other random piece down here, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to see if we can get anything looking decent. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, progress report, and the update is I basically couldn't have fucked this up more if I tried. This side was going okay, looks pretty good, and then we'll grab a light. By the time we got up top, I basically just became completely incompetent and just, I just don't know. I don't know what I was doing. And then again on this side, we come around here, it's going pretty good, and then somehow it's twisted, so now the stitch is like way too far over on this face. So as you look at it like this, you can see the stitch is in the middle like it should be, and then we come to this side and it's just like hello, and then goes back in. So it's just an absolute disaster. Thank God I'm not an upholstery guy, because fuck, I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. It's so bad. I mean, the good thing is that it's tight and it's gonna do what I want it to do, where it's like, it looks okay from distance and it's gonna be a lot grippier when I'm on track. I'm dreading doing the top now. I think that's gonna be even more difficult, but I can't make it any worse than I already have. It's basically ruined anyway. It's gonna need redoing one day, so I'm just gonna go ahead and carry on, make it look okay for the time being. That's all I can do, really. Alright guys, so the steering wheel cover install is finally finished. Let me go ahead and show you guys how it turned out. So I have to say, I'm absolutely in love with the way it feels when you're driving the car with the steering wheel. It makes me feel like I'm in a Porsche, even though this is definitely not up to the spec of a Porsche. It was real tricky to install, and the install is not perfect. Let me go ahead and expose myself here with my dodgy stitches. So like I said, this one's all needs to be redone really, and the other really bad part is if we come around here, the fabric doesn't seem to be long enough to stretch over this part of the steering wheel where it comes out for like your thumb to sit in. You can probably see a bit better there. There's the leather underneath, so that's probably the only part that I'm not really happy with. But other than that, I really like it. I cannot wait to get my shifter back into the car. We should be getting the shifter back by the next video, so the shifter should be back. Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking this thing out on track. But before we go back out onto the track, I think it's about time this thing gets a bit more power. It's already got the intake, the exhaust, the block mod, all that stuff in preparation, so it's about time we tune it. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next Turbo Tyler video, and I'll see you in the next one.